Hi, welcome to another video on my life in the African bush and the experiences I gained from them. Today I wanted to chat to you about a couple of encounters I had with elephants and how I've learned that one must always stand up for what one believes in, no matter what. You're always going to get the haters, the negative people out there that are going to try and tell you that what you're doing is incorrect. It's a scam, it's this, it's that. But at the end of the day, if you truly believe in what you're doing, stand up for it. And while I was thinking of this, a couple of years back, I was on our game farm down in Africa, and we were on a morning drive, and I thought on this morning I'll go along a road called Leopard's Loop, which is one of my favorite roads in the bush, because for a long period you're driving along a cliff face of about 20 meters down to a dry riverbed. Beautiful scenery as you're driving along there, and it's also notorious for leopard sightings. So obviously I was hoping to catch a little leopard on the trip, but how wrong I was going to be. We're driving along, came around a corner, and I noticed a young juvenile elephant just to our right on the cliffside, and I was like, okay. Moved along slowly, and before I knew it, there we were sitting in the middle of a breeding herd of about 50 elephants. They had little babies no older than a year old, and in those situations, the matriarch and all the mothers become very, very protective of their young, which means that you're in for a fun couple of minutes. So I pulled the Land Rover up to a stop. I said to Liz, listen, just stay chilled, relax. Hopefully they'll just take us as part of the bush, eat around us, and then move on. And luckily, didn't happen that way. For next thing, I saw this little trunk come out from behind the bush, and it started sniffing around, and I was like, ooh, okay, that's not looking good. Next thing, the trunk came down and outstepped the matriarch into the middle of the road. So there I am in my Land Rover of about 2.5 tons. About 20 meters in front of me is the matriarch of about 4.5 tons. And it's showdown time, which means she's got her ears out, which is the first sign that she's not happy with us there. Trunk's in the air. Then the front foot starts clawing at the ground, and next thing she bolts straight at us. So on the side of the Land Rover, I'm hitting the Land Rover, make as much noise as I can just to show that I'm not intimidated by her. She stops about 5 meters from us, trunk up, ears out again. And then she turns, walks away, goes about for 20 meters away, does the same thing, turns, gives the ears, charges again. Now generally these are just the mock charges. They're kind of letting you know that they're not happy, they're not really going to do much. But each time it gets a little closer where they stop on their charge, engaging that, as well as by this stage the tail, what the tail's doing, if it's straight out, if it's still wagging, will determine how close you are to getting yourself into a spot of bother. Anyway, on about the third charge, now she's literally, we eyeballing each other. She decides, nah, she's had enough, so she comes at us one more time. At this stage, I now have to make a decision. Do I back away? And if I back away, that means I give her the upper hand. And giving her the upper hand means that I've lost all credibility, all respect in her eyes. So she rules me now. The only thing left for me to do is go straight at her. So I said to Liz, as she comes, she's going to stop. She's going to veer off into the bush as she did before. As she does that, I'm dropping and I'm going at her. So anyway, comes again, stops, backs away a bit, pulls into the bush. I drop the clutch and off we go. Needless to say, as I pull alongside her, she comes out of us, pulls out behind us, gives us a little nudge on the back of the Land Rover. Back starts to snake a bit. But there's no ways I'm stopping at this stage, because obviously now she is after us because she's a bit pissed. So I'm moving. Next thing, the other females are starting to come out from the side. and before I know it, I've got about 3-4 elephants chasing us for the next 30-40 meters. Now 30-40 meters might not seem like a far distance, but when you're winding through the bush, you're not going straight, you're winding, she's going straight, and they get up to about 40-50 k's an hour when they're really grumpy. So you know, it got the heart pumping, to say the least, but we got out of it. Now the lesson learned there is that, very simply, if I had backed down for 1 second in that situation, she would have had control over me. And as soon as she had control over me, she could do whatever she likes, you know, because she's lost her fear of me. And that's so important when you're in the bush, is to always maintain that fear, that respect. So you can apply that in the business world, you know, the respect. You know, if you think about it, a person gives up, backs down, does he have the respect of his fellow workmates or, you know, business partners? But if he stands up for what he believes in, gives it all, it might not always work, but if he stands up for what he believes and believes wholeheartedly that what he's doing is correct, you know, the respect is earned. Pretty much the same in the bush. You know, any sort of animal, bar, you know, a buffalo, but that's another story altogether. You know, as soon as you back down, you lose respect in that animal's eyes, and from that, your battle's lost. So, you know, nice comparison between, you know, business world, nature, how they coexist, and how you can learn such things from nature that you can apply in your everyday life, apply in your business, that at the end of the day, make you stronger, make you a hell of a lot better person in life. Anyway, that's my story on you know, staying strong, standing up for what you believe in, and making sure that you never back down. I'd like to thank you for your time and watching my video. I know we all have busy lives, and the fact that you've taken the time to watch this video, I greatly appreciate it. In my next video, I'll be discussing dealing with fear, how to overcome, handle fear, so that you know what to do in future, so that you can always make sure that you can counteract your fear, so that you can achieve what you need to achieve. Anyway, till next time, take care, speak to you soon, cheers.